This movie will show you how to write your name in copper on the bottom of the board, how to change the default widths for the tracks that you're putting on the board, how to change a track from the top to the bottom or the bottom of the top of the board, and it'll also show you how to change the default sizes of things called vias, which we'll show you in a minute. First of all, we've got a board here, and it's a good idea to print your name on the bottom because there's quite a lot of boards lying around in the classroom all the time, and a lot of them look quite similar. So if you want to recognize your own, do something like this. Choose the Place Text tool and choose to put it on the signal plane. Then click where you want to put the text, and when you get a cursor there you can write your name. When you hit enter, you should find that the text will flip around and become a mirror image. The reason for that is when you're working in DipTrace, you're looking through from the top of the board as if the board is transparent, and your name is on the bottom, so when you look at it from the top it looks as if it's back to front. Okay, next thing I'm going to show you how to do is change the default size of the track widths. So there's a tool over here which you can get, which is the Route Setup tool. If you want to do it really simply, for this default class of traces, you can just change the width. Now you will find that's probably been set to 0.013 if you haven't done anything about it, and that gives you some pretty skinny little tracks. Not really a good idea. They're not very strong, and it's very easy for those to break. So I would suggest that you set a default value to be about double that. 0.025 will give you quite a good value for most of the tracks. So now that means that as soon as you lay a track down, it's going to come out to have that width, and you won't have to change the width of them all to be that value. So if I just lay a track down now, for instance, start there, go across to there, up to there, and into there, it's got that value of 0.025. Now you notice that on this circuit board here we've got some tracks crossing over each other, and of course you can't do that because the electricity will just jump from one track into another, and if it starts randomly doing that, your circuitry is pretty soon going to stop working. So what you might want to do is this bit of track here crosses over two other tracks. So what I'm going to do now is just pick this tool, which is the routing tool, and then when that highlights light blue like that, right click it, and you'll see you've got segment layer. So segment is just that one straight piece of line, and we're going to change it to the top layer. And if I just click that, you'll find it's gone red, and red means for me that this track is now on the top of the board, blue ones are on the bottom. You are in control of that. You can do that here. So I've set tracks on the top to be red and tracks on the bottom to be blue, and that's good for me because if I ever see that I'm accidentally putting a track on the top when I shouldn't be, it'll show up in red and it'll warn me. Okay, now when I changed that track to the top, it automatically created a couple of pins or pads, one there and one there. So this is going to be a piece of wire which we put across the top of the circuit board, and we're going to have a couple of holes going through to the bottom, and we want these pads there to solder it with. So these little holes that just go through the circuit board and transfer the circuit from the top to the bottom are called vias. And once again you will find that the ones that are normally there in DipTrace are a bit too small, and as soon as you get a drill and drill through there, it'll probably drill the whole solder pad out. And so it's a good idea to make these vias go a bit better. So once again you can go to the Route Setup tool over here, and you'll see these things are called vias, and you can have a default style for them. So I've made these, you'll find that when you look at yours it's much less than 0.09, but if you set it to 0.09 it'll give you a decent sized pad to solder onto. The hole diameter doesn't matter so much as long as you don't make it too big, or else you have a pad which mainly consists of hole. But the 0.09, 0.03 is what you can see here, just these two.